The Substance has been one of the most hyped up movies of the entire year. People have been going on and on about how great this movie is. They also said how absolutely bonkers it was. So I was eager to see it for myself. And I finally did by coughing up $20 to buy the movie on Amazon Prime, because it was not playing at any of my local theaters. And now I can confirm, yeah, this is an absolutely insane movie. I have to praise the really creative concept. There's this mysterious substance from this mysterious organization that once injected into your system makes you duplicate yourself into a whole other body that's younger and better. A creative concept goes a long way for me, and the substance is a fully fleshed out idea with laid out rules and consequences for breaking those rules. But there is still some mystery, like what is the substance? Who makes it? How does it do what it does? These questions are never answered, and they shouldn't be answered. That mystery is what makes this movie as unpredictable as it is. And the body horror of this film is really something. The Substance is one of the most genuinely scary and disgusting movies I have ever seen. At many points in the movie, I had to look away because of how freaked out I was. It's so gross, with body parts coming out of different places, with people decaying while they're still alive, with people literally falling apart at the seams. This whole movie is really disturbing, and I kinda wish I could forget everything I saw. And even things like food are made abhorrently gross. We get some gross shots of Dennis Quaid eating crawfish, or Elizabeth Sparkle eating her feelings, and cooking some of the most putrid looking foods you have ever seen. I tried eating my lunch while watching this movie, and I had to switch it off and watch something else instead. This is for sure not a food movie. I watched Malcolm in the Middle in case you were curious. There's also some incredible effects work on display. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley are two very beautiful people, so this effects team had to work exceptionally hard to make them not beautiful anymore. And the last 30 minutes of this movie is actually insane. And I'm not going to give away exactly what happens. If you haven't seen this movie, I definitely think you should see it for yourself. But all I'll say is, floops, fooglies. And the genuine horror of The Substance only works so well because of the movie's deeper themes. At its core, The Substance is about vanity, the ever impossible to achieve beauty standard, and the inevitability of aging. There are so many moments that visualize Elizabeth's despair from aging. One of the opening scenes is her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. At first, people freak out over seeing the star, but as time goes by, it, much like Elizabeth herself, becomes less and less relevant to the point where no one cares. And now Elizabeth is fired from her show for someone younger, more attractive, and better fits the beauty standard. And it's shown to us many different times how these beauty standards absolutely ruin Elizabeth. She constantly compares herself to, well, herself, but younger, and it drives her deeper and deeper down this dark path, which allows her younger counterpart to continue to abuse the substance, which causes many more issues. And Elizabeth is the perfect character to embody this story, because she's not really a character. Elizabeth doesn't have a personality or hobbies or anything like that. She's built her entire life around her physical appearance. And you can argue about why that is the case. You could say that she fell victim to this standard of beauty by focusing all her energy into making sure she looks good for the camera, or you could also say that she should blame herself. She should have been wise enough to know that there's more to life than outward beauty, and getting older is a part of nature. It's a thing that's unavoidable. I'm more inclined to believe that the first interpretation is what the writer more so intended, given how Dennis Quaid and every other male executive at the TV show treated Elizabeth, but still I think both interpretations are solid, and the performances across the board are great. For a character who doesn't have a ton of personality, she is able to add so much humanity. In many scenes, you're able to feel for this woman you don't really know, based solely on Moore's performance. The Substance isn't really an Oscar-type movie, but I have seen that she is in the race for Best Actress, which is great to hear. Margaret Qualley is also great in her role. The movie is mostly carried by her in the last 30-ish minutes, and wow, is she amazing. There's also a scene where she drinks a Diet Coke, and I think that might have changed me a bit. Dennis Quaid is also great as this obnoxious, horrible TV exec. He is a scene stealer, and they dressed him up like a goofball, which I found really comical. The directing by Coralie Varja is exceptional. The intense close-ups, the sporadic camera movements, and the use of slow-mo all add to the bonkers nature of the movie and its subject matter. The movie's style looked really familiar to me, and I found out the same director also made Revenge from 2017. If you've never seen Revenge, you should. It absolutely slaps. The editing is also really fast-paced and engaging, but it never makes the movie confusing. There are a ton of quick cuts, but it's still really easy to follow. I will say though, the overall pacing of the movie is kinda iffy at times. The Substance could definitely drag, and some scenes were maybe a bit too drawn out. The movie is over 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and it is probably too long. The Substance is also visually pleasing. The set design is wholly unique, and there are a ton of memorable locations, like Elizabeth's apartment or this hallway. And just in general, it's nice to have a horror film that is this bright and colorful and visually inviting. The last thing I'm gonna say about The Substance is that it might not appeal to a lot of Gen Z viewers. I do think that statistic about Gen Z viewers not liking nudity and whatnot in movies is true. I myself am Gen Z and feel really uncomfortable during those types of scenes. And from that perspective, The Substance is a bit of a hard watch. But again, that's just me as a brain-rotted zoomer. Besides that, The Substance is still a fantastic body horror film, with great performances, some genuinely scary moments, and outstanding visuals. So I'm going to give The Substance an 8 out of 10. If you enjoyed this review, why not hit the subscribe button and leave a like? Also comment below, let me know what you thought of The Substance. Make sure to check out the newest video over on the main channel, and stay tuned for new reviews here.